What's going on, guys? Markie Williams from the YouTube channel online certification course. Here we're going to just go through how to manage your remote workers, how to keep the productivity high, and keep a process in place while working remotely. Please make sure you like, subscribe, comment below as to what you would like to get certified in. I could personally send you a link to check out. But first, let's check out the intro, and then we'll get into it. What's going on, guys? Once again, it's still Markie Williams from the online certification courses. Go ahead, comment below if you're actually working remotely, if you have any questions in regards to remote work, and if you're a manager or a supervisor that needs some assistance on how to properly manage or supervise your remote workers. Go ahead and comment down below. Also, I'm gonna stick some links in the description as well in certification courses that will go over all that for you, get you certified, that you can keep everybody up and running and keep the line of communication open as well. So the first step is how to work remotely. So the first step is actually to find a place that you can work in your house, whether it's out on the deck, if you got an extra room, basement, garage, and so forth. And once you select a designation for where you're going to be working for your 8 hours a day, make it your workspace and nothing else. Also, you got family members that's still in the household, they doing schooling online and so forth. Let it be known from 9 to 5 or 8 to 5 or what have you. This is mommy and daddy's work time. Do not interfere and so forth. So get a designated area that you can be productive, do some work, and get some best end results as well. So also the next step in this is also, now you're working home, you're working at a cafe or so forth, you're just simply working remotely. Now the technology side of it, now it's 2021. I figure people will have high-speed internet and so forth, maybe a printer at home, some Norton protection or whatever on a computer. But the technology, so do you have a laptop at home? You got a printer? Is your Wi-Fi up to par and so forth? So get all that into gear. And also it's going to be a lot of Zoom calls and so forth. So get yourself a nice decent camera, maybe a good mic also, if you're going to be doing a lot of conferences and so forth. So get all that clipped up. Prior to all this, of course, the IT management only could do but so much with you working from home. All that has changed. Now they fully on board. IT is taking over all this remote stuff that's going on. Also, a lot of stuff is cloud-based, so it'll be a little bit more easier for you to get a lot of files and so forth to your home when you're working remotely. So of course, you're going to have some downsides to it, working remotely. A lot of people will look forward to going into the office and such. But love the interaction, the face-to-face, the social gatherings and so forth. So remote working for them might be a little, and they may get distracted a lot in regards to doorbells, phones ringing. If the kids are home and something breaks off to the side, and you got a lot of distractions, so you won't be much productive as if you was actually in your office doing your work and stuff. So, and also getting a hold of colleagues and stuff. Remote working, you got to do a lot of video conferencing, calling out to them and so forth, versus walking down the hallway and holler at George with a simple 5-minute question, little powwow, then you're back into your office, back working. So there's some yin and yang to the remote working. Of course, is the work-life balance is going through the roof now with a lot of remote workers, and also productivity is also still scaling from that new work-life balance that you have working remotely. Also, you got to keep in mind also in regards to remote working is you got to put in your 8, 9, 10 hours, whatever your hours you usually work if you're in the office, in the warehouse and so forth, that you got your 8-hour day set, you keep it etched in stone and so forth. So people think you're working remotely, someone could call you at 9, 10 o'clock at night with a quick question that need to be answered. If you continue to do so, you'll eventually be working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and you'll simply just get burnt out. So you got to set your 8 hours in place, for the managers and supervisors, whoever you're going to be managing remotely. You guys got to sit down and create a new schedule as to how your 8 hours is going to consist of. Also get the conferences and meetings, get those time frames, because people was here, there, and everywhere. So you got to keep that in mind as well. So it's going to be a whole new work schedule for these remote workers. And for the managers and supervisors, they have to get on board as well with their communicating and the direction they want to go in, and make it crystal clear as possible. And also, a lot of people have fear of remote working, that, you know, the supervisor and managers are used to seeing them actually in action, you know, working and so forth, and running here, running there, and they hear conversations of what's going on and they asking questions. So managers and supervisors, matter of fact, upper management we're going to use, see them in action, doing their due. So working remotely, a lot of people fear that, hey, my upper management now don't see me in action. People fear that work isn't getting done. So you got to understand, they already have a process sort of in place. Well, they did have a process in place while you was working in a company, so they know where everything's going. If you're working remotely, people think I can slack off, no one's checking on me, as they were in-house. They can see the productivity falling down. So the conference meetings and so forth, you popping in late or not at all, what you're doing, where you at, and so forth. So you're going to see the productivity starts to go down in the position that you're in. So you'll be noticed. So, you know, if the productivity is still high in the position that you're in, and you constantly, they see it, the overall, you know, productivity that you're doing. So people got to lose the fear of, they don't see me actually working. How would they grade me? How would they do for the reviews and the raises and so forth that they get if they work remotely and upper management doesn't see them? So you got to lose that concept of that altogether. What the future for all this, me personally, I think remote working is the way to go. You know, companies save money, tremendous amount of money in regards to if they paying people for their commuting and so forth. That is out the window. A lot of supplies. I mean, the company may have to supply the remote workers with paper, ink, toner, and so forth, maybe, or, you know, you can set up something that you actually purchase yourself, write it off as a remote worker. Is quite a few ways to do this, but companies overall save money. If they saving money, hopefully they sticking those papers in your pocket. So keep that in mind as well. So working remotely, eventually moving over to hybrid work, which people start coming in 2-3 days a week or so forth, you know, just for that social interaction and so forth. And that's a whole new schedule of its own. So you don't want too many people in the building at the same time and so forth. So the remote working, eventually move over to hybrid working and so forth. And like I said, the managers can eventually get in tune with it all, you know. And most importantly is the communication. I mentioned that prior and stuff. Just the communication line has to be open, has to be clear, and give your workers, your employees, the clear direction as where they need to be, where they're going and so forth. So with the team meetings and so forth, where you're in the office, people had them long drawn out meetings and so forth. But with the conference and stuff, everyone's chiming in, you got conference meetings and so forth. So you got to open up the whole team's meeting and stuff, have the conference clear, direct, quick as possible as to what needs to be done and how to get it there and what time frame it needs to be done. So communication is always key. Many thanks for checking my quick little tutorial out in regards to remote working and how upper management can work with these remote workers and how to keep productivity high and keep the process in place and so forth. There are going to be some links down below. You guys can check out, get certified, and a lot of tips and techniques and so forth to handle this remote working situation. Go ahead and check them out. Please like, subscribe to the channel. Comment below as to what tutorial you would like to see. I could make one personally for you and share it out to my channel as well. So go ahead and do your thing. It's Markie Williams, and I'm out. Oh yeah, also make sure you check these thumbnails out that's floating around right here. That could be benefit to you, and hope to see you at the next tutorial.